fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
Right.
So if we recall the former passages from the Old Testament, what happens when you defy the armies of the living God? What happens when you come up to battle against the nations, against a nation that is serving the living God?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you turn against the living God? Everlasting shame, everlasting reproach, death, destruction, perishing.
Yep.
It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
Amen.
He is not a God to be toyed with.
That's right.
He is not a God to
That's
be
right.
messed with.
Right.
He is not a God to be ridiculed. He is not a God to be mocked. He is not a God who is worth taking his name in vain as a curse word.
Amen.
He is the living God, and it is a fearful thing to fall into his hands. Your life, your breath that is in your nostrils is in his power.
That's right.
Every breath you take was given by permission from God.
Amen.
And you have no power to keep yourself alive. What did we read before? He said, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Nothing that gets done to you is outside of what God is able to either give to you or save you from. He can stop something from happening, and he can cause something to happen. He's the one who's able to kill and make alive, and he is the living God whose hand is not something we want to fall into. We do not want to fall into his hand of wrath or his hand of indignation. I would much rather be in his closed hand, out of which no man can pluck.
Amen.
If that's grammatically how it's supposed to go. Anyway, last passage, John chapter 1. John chapter 1 does not use the exact phrase, but it wraps it up nicely, especially considering Hosea chapter 1. So John chapter 1, verse 1. John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Verse 12. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name.
Amen.
So where did we start? Hosea chapter 1. They were not my people, but they shall be called my people. And they shall be called the sons of the living God. Hosea chapter 1. All those who call upon the Lord, all those who receive him, the Lord gives power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. You know what's going to happen at the end of the tribulation, at the coming of the Lord? The Bible says the nation of Israel shall turn to the Lord in one day. They shall all be, Hosea chapter 1, become the sons of God. They shall all be born again. But I would advise anyone here tonight or out that we talk to during evangelism or that you talk to personally to become a son of God now, before you have to go through 7 years of wrath and tribulation and anguish. Become a son of God now, when you can turn to the living God and be delivered from the wrath to come, as opposed to going through the wrath to come and ending up saved. I'd much rather get saved now. I'd much rather believe on the Lord now. I'd much rather be delivered now and have my hope secured for me forever with the living God.